Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Drinks with Johnny. You know where you're at. You're the one that hit the fucking link or the search, whatever. You found us here again. And we're here with Sam, my co-host here today. And, of course, the return of Bryan from Fame on Fire, the lead singer, Kuznitz. I'll always say your long fucking wrong names the wrong way. You know what's up.
Yeah, that's
But how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling good.
Yeah? Where are you at right now in the world?
I am in Orlando, Florida, where I live.
Yeah.
Happy to be home. I almost wasn't here, though, because I got stranded in Salt Lake City.
What happened? Why were you in Salt Lake City? Let's start it off. Give me a good Salt Lake City story and why the fuck you almost missed my show.
Okay. So what happened was that we had a fly-in date, just one single show. We flew into Sweetwater County Fair. Not sure if you've ever done that before.
Never heard of it, but okay.
Yeah, it's in the middle of Wyoming.
Okay.
Yeah, so we flew in. We did a county fair. That was really cool. Never done one before. We'll do it again though. Very fun. And then we were there for one day, and then we fly out the next day. So we go back to Salt Lake City. I'm in the airport because it's the closest airport. And I'm waiting for my flight, and then I get a text that says, your flight has been moved to the next day.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is my flight moved to the next day? And I look it up, and of course there's a hurricane hitting Florida, as it happens. So, yeah, so we have a hurricane hitting Florida. My flight got moved to the next day, and I'm like, this fucking sucks. And I go up to the front desk. I was like, hey, do you guys provide hotels or anything for anybody? And they're just like, no, we don't do that for weather. I'm like,
what?
I'm like,
what do they do it for? I think it has to be weather.
Yeah,
it's like an act of God.
Yeah, like, yeah, come on. Well, that was honestly their choice for not being, brave enough to fly into a hurricane.
What airline was this?
Southwest.
Yeah, what are these?
Let's throw them under the bus right here. Southwest.
Southwest.
More like it. Roasted.
I will never fly Southwest again. I will tell you that. They were kind of rude about it too. I was just like, it was weird, man. And also, like, the way you board flights on Southwest, I didn't like it. It also was the only flight. It was the only flight I could have taken to get home. So, yeah. So
Are
there
you
was
by
no other flights
yourself
available
too,
to go home.
or was it everybody?
I am by myself. So I'm the only one that lives in Orlando. The rest of my band lives in South Florida. So they all left early in the morning, and they got past the storm. My flight was later in the day. And so, yeah, my flight got canceled and just moved to the completely next day. And just getting home was such a nightmare, dude. Like, I was stranded for I think 12 hours in the Salt Lake City airport, and then I just started going on standby flights. I just started going standby to get to Denver, where my parents live. So I was like, I'll go kick it with my parents for a little bit. So I got on a standby flight, luckily, went to Denver, hung out in Denver for another 12 hours, and then eventually made it home yesterday.
Wow. So you just got home yesterday. Well, damn.
Yeah.
I'm glad you made it, Bryan. It's
I
so
wonder if this got
fucking
pushed.
good to have you back here on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. Really appreciate it.
No wonder it got pushed is indeed correct there, Sam. And yeah, dude, having you back here. I know we ran into each other on the road after you were on the podcast a few years ago.
Yeah,
was
we
that
did.
Seattle?
Yeah, Tacoma.
Tacoma, that's right.
Yeah,
close enough. Seattle, Tacoma. We same.
It's farther than you think.
It probably is.
Yeah,
it is. You're right. Now you just reminded me because I stayed in Seattle. It took me an hour to get to Tacoma.
Yeah, we were Tacoma's 30 minutes away, whatever. And then we were just late as shit to the show. We missed King Dracula, unfortunately. Yeah.
If you're going to miss somebody, you should have missed us, not them.
I was saying that for the longest time.
I mean, it's the way to go.
No, the show
I wouldn't even bother sticking around. I hear those assholes leave, everyone feeling weird at the end of the show. That Avenged Sevenfold band, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this whole show, and then we're just gonna leave and make you feel awkward. And they're real assholes.
Yeah, no, encore it's weird. None of the classics either. It's just it's not it.
None of even
a bunch of boomers.
Cuts.
They just go to bed.
It's
afterwards.
all originals. It's all brand new songs you've never heard before. It's not even anything deep cut. Yeah.
Yeah, no second heartbeat or anything.
I would love to do a set like that one time, Bryan. Would you ever do a set where it's just all new songs that no one's ever heard before?
Bro, it's got to be awkward as shit. I'm not going to lie. It's because we've played music that's never been released. Because we're that band. We're going to play songs that have never been released because we love this song and so fuck this crowd.
Right.
And people just kind of like stare at you like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm just like, man. And I got to look at them in the eyes too. I don't have an instrument in front of me to look down at. So
well, you do, sir. And we did talk about this before the cameras were rolling here. I saw your video of you pole vaulting at the Olympics this week.
You did, yes.
Yeah. That's an instrument, my friend.
That is an instrument.
You took the pole with you when you went.
We call it the unit.
I know. I hear this from singers all the time. They're like, "Oh, I can't hide behind things," and I get it. No, I don't envy that position to be the one that has to talk to the crowd, be up there, bear no axe in front of you.
Yeah.
However, why haven't you ever just like looked down and been like, "This is part of my instrument. I'm gonna look down and sing to my dick."
Is that illegal?
I don't know.
I
actually don't even know where I was going with that. I thought I could just riff it as the words were coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And clearly I fell flat at the end. I was like, I'm onto something here. And then I just fell flat at the end.
Singing to my dick. I thought I was going to do something else with it, but I'm down with singing.
Well, hey, you could. See, that's where you take your creative freedom. I set up the beginning. It's more like a producer role I try to do here, Brian.
Of course.
It's more like I'm going to set up the joke and your creative freedom, you finish it for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that is like what they say the center of attention usually is for the audience is they're usually focused in that one region.
For a Fame on Fire show specifically.
For a Fame on Fire specifically. if it's not covered up, it's going to get looked at.
Yes.
Well, last time you almost teased us with a tattoo of it right there.
Well, you're talking about teasing. That's true.
The tattoo. Yeah. Have you
gotten another tattoo since? You did?
On the same area? No. You had more real estate?
Oh, no. The entire bottom half of me is covered by a death bat.
It's sick.
There you go.
Sick. Is it the new reimagined? So I gotta paint the pictures. The new reimagined one that you have on your hat there, is that the West Lang? Bat. Yeah, the West Lang bat.
Is that what it's called? The West Lang?
Flex it and its wings go.
West Lang, the artist that we worked with.
West Lang. Oh, that's right. Yeah. And you guys had a different piece of art for each song.
Yeah. We went big. Different piece of art for everything.
What do you think about the new Avenged album?
Stuff. Whoa, dude.
As a fan, Brian.
Oh. You cut me off to ask a question like that.
Let's be real. Be honest. You guys were so honest last time. I want to hear the truth.
Yeah. Okay. So as a fan, I at first listening to it, I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" I was like, "What?" Yes. I was like, "What is this?" But like, I almost like it, this is gonna sound like weird in a way, but I almost like forced myself to listen to it because I was like, I want to like this. I want to see what the fuck they were going through for. I want to understand what was happening here. And then the more I listened to it, the more I really started to enjoy it, even down to like the mix of it all, because I didn't like the mix of it at all at first.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I thought it was weird and like just really raw, but also that I started understanding that was the point of it. I was like, it's supposed to be like this. Like every song almost has like a different snare drum too. Mm-hmm. And like, it was just like really, it started becoming really cool to me. So I jammed it for a few months. Like when it first came out, I jammed it for a few months. And best song on there is Ordinary.
Ooh, Ordinary is your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so weird for you guys, but like it also makes sense at the same time because you got Matt on stage just wearing Daft Punk all the time.
Yeah.
So you're like, and so I'm just like, okay. Also, you told me in Seattle, we're gonna call it Seattle. You were like, Seattle. Yeah, that's like their like, that's their like love child. Like Matt's love child is like that song.
Yeah, like, so in a lot of ways. Yeah, we just had. I mean, dude, when you're writing songs and like you have an idea like that and it comes off. Usually, I mean, sometimes you bring up ideas like that and everyone scoffs at it and laughs or whatever. We've done that so many times over our career. Like eventually, like a lot of those things, and you could hear it throughout our career, are things that we end up just going full in on because we're having so much fun with it, and then like, yeah. And we appreciate all that music, right? Like you guys, we've had conversations before, very eclectic taste. You guys like to bring in a lot of different stuff into your music. And I think for us, it's no different. And then when you find that stuff, it's fun to like, I mean, look, we all started to be in bands and wanting to do this for creative fun. That's what it started out as. Becomes a business and everything later in life as we get older and, shit happens. But it starts out that way. So you want to, I think for us, one of the things that I love about our band is that we do keep a lot of that youth and fun in the writing process, even and every process. You guys have been working your asses off since the last time you've been on, though. Let's talk about your guys' music.
Right.
Yeah. Really quick, I do want to preface though, it's like you guys do get a lot of creative freedom though because of how successful you are, which like is
that's the fans. That's the fan base.
That is the fan base.
They've done that for us since, you know. I mean, every album we've made changes in different sounds and everything, and it's been the fan base that has grown and allowed us to do that, so that we could we have them at our backs. You know, back in the day when we had to deal with a label.
Yep.
And then
but
I did hear.
You guys messed that up though. You guys messed that up for some other bands though, because you guys would always change, and then like other bands would sound like the same fucking album over and over again. You know, like AC/DC, and you're like, well, this is, yeah. And so for like me growing up being a fan, I'm like, that's what was expected kind of for me of like other bands, but I was like, nobody's doing this. What the fuck's happening? Like,
I love that as a fan, you were like looking around like, what the fuck? Like no one else is doing it. I love that. I love hearing
no one
that.
else changes except for like Linkin Park, but they went more like poppy. So as like, you know, the metalcore kid that I was, or like the metalhead, I was like, no, that shit's stupid. I don't like pop music. You know, not enough guitars.
Not enough guitars. No. No, it's fun. It's fun. Like honestly, I'm glad that you brought up that that freedom too. So I had a question on that with you. I listened to you on it was a year ago now. You did a podcast. I think it was while you were on Shiprocked or something like that. It's called like the Hammerhead Shark podcast, some shit like that. Anyway, it was about a year ago. And in it, you did talk about a little bit of musical freedoms. Like you wanted to release singles, kind of do the Falling Reverse thing. You mentioned Ronnie on there, and a lot of other artists that are doing it now too. I mean, it's we've been talking about it because it's been prevalent. We've had a lot of musicians on the show as of late, and each of them has their own way of releasing stuff these days because you can do whatever the hell you want, really. Totally. But in that, you were talking about how the label kind of pushed back when you wanted to do just the singles and wanted a full record. And now we've got 3 more singles out right now, which we'll get to talking to in a second, with an upcoming album coming out first week of September.
Yep.
Very excited for all that. But in that, I just wanted to know, like, did you get more creative freedom? And why did you then decide you're going to make another album?
Yeah, so it's really weird how my mentality has changed because, yes, I wanted to go singles based, and a lot of people want to go singles based, but honestly, like, where I'm at right now with what we've done with this new record, I don't know if that's the play for us anymore. When you do an album, you get to create this entire environment, this just like this whole vision around that album. And you don't get to do that with singles. Like, I know I was like really impressed at the time with what Ronnie Radke was doing. He's still doing it, but that's like what Ronnie Radke does fits Ronnie Radke's personality. He's allowed to be this way, that way. He's allowed to be all over the place. But you know, with a band that is trying to find their artistic vision in like this just like sea of like a bunch of music, like we're like, okay, we need to make this unique. We need to make this special. So that's why, you know, with our upcoming album, The Death Card, we're like, I was stoked to make an album because like the album has its own sound to it. Nothing else sounds like this album. Nothing else we've done before, and nobody else sounds like this album. So that's like a really important thing for me too. The look of it, the imagery, how we incorporated tarot into all of it. Nobody's doing that, and we wouldn't be able to do that if we were just releasing single after single after single. So I think that it is actually important now to have that body of work and that piece of work. Now, moving forward, we might have a single or two, but I still like the idea of having these big staple pieces of work. I think it's super important.
Yeah, I still gravitate towards that. I think a lot of, I mean, we just had Chris on the show, Chris Daughtry, and the way that he's going about it, he's got 2 albums coming out, and that he's working on rather. It's a 2-part, 1 album, whatever the hell it is, and he's releasing the singles first and then the body of work. There's a lot of people doing that too, is just releasing it as a bunch of singles and then you get the full body of work.
Yeah, exactly, and then we're doing the same exact thing. You tease the body of work. And then it's fun to see the fans going off and like figuring out and trying to put the pieces together. And then track listing gets released, and then they're starting to figure out more. And it's like a little quest for them, I guess. But no, I think that's the best way to do things these days.
I think it seems to be the way a lot of artists are gravitating towards. I think the ballot's still out. You know, who knows what's the best way these days? I mean, there's so many things changing, and you know, and I've talked way too much about it the last few weeks on this podcast. I won't go too deep into it, but so much has changed in the way that people consume entertainment that there's no real wrong way. I feel like you could kind of, especially now that with Web 2, how much it's come along in the last 15 years, you have such a close fan base or a close relationship to your fan base, and it's only going to get greater in Web 3. So I just feel like there's just new ways for the fan to get the music from the artist and to experience it the way that the artist was hoping you'd be able to experience it, right?
Yeah, totally. I know you guys did the ETFs with Web3, or is that Web3? I don't really know.
What's that?
The ETFs, like where the digital art pieces.
Oh yeah. Oh, the NFTs and stuff.
NFTs, that's what it is. My bad, ETF.
I was all, I don't what am I missing here?
I'm speaking crypto right now.
Yeah. No, NFTs. Yeah. NFTs got a bad rap. I said a couple weeks ago too. Basically, the NFTs are, you have the artwork, and that's cool to have as well. You actually own that. It's different. You have that, but it's really about the smart contract that's built in Web3 behind that piece of art that has utilities and real things, and we've done that for our fan base. It's just a new fan club. You know, it's a new way to looking at a fan club and a way that they have ownership in the fan club rather than just paying a monthly fee.
No, I did think that was cool the way that you guys did it, because I was like, there's actual value to it opposed to it just being like a picture of something.
Right.
So I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that's a really interesting way to do it. Like, yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully. Go ahead, Sam.
It's going to be interesting for artists too, such as your guys' selves, of not being fit to the same model of a single album cycle. You know what I mean? If you got something that you want to work on the greater project for a longer time, you can. But if you got one song, like, fuck, I really want people to hear this now, and you can throw it on later. And also with like
that is true too.
So you're talking about the tarot.
I don't know if I
is going to be your new one.
What did that say? What did you say?
Well, the story, the way you can tell a story with an album, like you're talking about, and all the different pieces. So it's got to be a little more enjoyable than the quick, hey, I'm going to drop something. People like this one. Oh, people didn't like this one. But you get kind of more of your whole vision.
Yeah, it's. I think it's like a little bit more stressful, and I don't even know if I could do that. I don't know if I could be like, yeah, this is a single while I'm working on another body of work, because like I feel like I put myself through hell when I'm working on an album. Like it's like the only thing I can think of. It's the most stressful thing. It's the most stressful time in my life is when I'm working on an album, because it matters so much to me. So I don't know if I could ever put out just a single without putting out an album. It's got to all work together for me.
Yeah.
So you mentioned
how
the new
long
one
did you guys spend on this record?
We didn't spend too long. We spent probably about a year, but also we do this thing where before we even make the songs for the album, we make a bunch of songs for the album. Like we'll make like maybe like 15 or 20 different songs, and then none of them will ever see the light of day.
Wow.
So yeah, it's the same thing that happened with this album. We made like 15, 20 songs. One of them survived the cut, and then the rest of them just were like, those aren't it. Those aren't it. Gotcha. They don't fit the theme anymore. They don't fit what we want it to sound like. You know, it's almost like we had Welcome to the Chaos, and then this song would be like Welcome to the Chaos 2.5, but we don't want that. We want the next generation of music from us. Yeah.
So I like that. So that's really interesting. Yeah, dude. So that's cool. So you start with with like a bunch of songs. You end up with like that one that's gonna be. You kind of look at it and go like, this is the vibe. We'll expand upon this song for an entire album and see where it goes creatively. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And they vary a little bit, but there's a sound. I mean, you guys know when your favorite album has a sound to it. All the songs are cohesive, and there's like just banger after banger on it, but it has a sound to it, and so it's important.
Absolutely, I think that's kind of how it goes. We never sit down and do like 15 or 20 songs and then start from there, but you start as you're putting things together. You start to wean out and see a clearer vision of what you originally set out to do, and in that clear vision, sometimes you could find different avenues that are like exciting too, and then you start following that. So I understand that
Exactly.
process.
You got to test the waters. Like, I'm not saying these songs are like finished products or anything like that, but like, there's ideas behind it, and there's not full ideas ever, but like there's a bunch of different ideas, not full on songs, but ideas.
That's awesome. So which was the song off this new album that came from those 15, 20 songs?
The song called Chains, which is going to be our last single that we release, which we actually have a feature on it from the band Sim. They're a Japanese band. We love those guys. They took us on tour. They brought us out to Japan to play shows, which was insane.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so we have a feature with their singer Ma on that album, which is super fucking cool.
Well, I can't wait to hear that. I didn't get the full album. I'm gonna get angry at Shane because are you guys done with it? I mean, it's coming out early September. You guys are mixing and mastering.
We're very done with it. Yeah.
Okay, I figured. So I'm gonna give Shane some shit who over there who didn't send me the whole record. So I only got the singles. My favorite one of the singles that we've got 3 singles out right now as we're recording today. It was actually Spiral. So I just wanted to share that with you. So far out of the songs I've listened to the new stuff, that's my song.
You didn't like Nightmare?
I just didn't like the title, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't original enough for you?
I mean, there's just been so many bands who've had a Nightmare before, you know?
Yeah. But ours is Nightmare of the Devil. It's a little different.
A little different.
Yeah, it's
No, I like that. I like the track. Don't get me wrong. I did like the track, but it's great. All 3 songs are great, but the one that stood out to me was Spiral because it just had a different sound to it. It was it was and different than what you guys have done before. I felt too.
Yeah,
so
totally.
That one definitely stood out to me.
That one was fun. That one was one of it has this jungle beat in the verse of it, which is very much inspired of being on tour with a British band, You Me at 6. And they're like, they would like just play jungle breakbeat music all the time, and then throw parties in their green rooms. And so it's very inspired by that whole tour.
Dude, so it sounds like the 2 songs, a couple of things that we've talked about on the new record. You mentioned being out on tour with some other bands, going to Japan for the first time. This is all new stuff since, it's been about 3 years since you've been on the podcast. Let's catch up on what the touring has been like now for you, Bryan. A lot of new places, a lot of new bands you toured with. I know you guys were on the Trinity of Terror tour there for a while. You just mentioned a couple other bands you were on with. So it's been 3 years. Last time we talked to you guys, we're just about to do your first full original album that you guys released in 2022.
Yeah, that's right.
And then now you guys have been touring on that, got a new album coming out. A lot has grown in your guys' career, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you walk us through a little bit of the last 3 years and what that's meant for you and, the stage Fame on Fire is in your guys' career?
It's so funny. When we last spoke, we've probably been on a couple of tours then, but it's like now we're just like road dogs.
Yeah.
We've done so many tours. We've seen a lot of shit. We still haven't gone to Europe yet because everyone tells us not to go to Europe.
Who's telling you not to go to Europe?
Everybody that goes, do you want to go broke? And we go, no. They're like, then don't go to Europe. So like,
you and me have a conversation. There's ways to go to Europe, buddy. You need to go to Europe.
We have tried, and we do have a European agent now. We have an overseas agent. But we skipped a couple steps and we went to Japan first, which was super sick. I love Japan. Although it was fucking hot as hell.
Dude, we'll get back to Europe later. You and I will have a little conversation about Europe and a strategy there. I'll help you guys out. But if you want it.
Yes, I would love that.
But tell me a little about Japan, because I still remember my very first time going to Japan and the cultural shock that was, playing shows and everything like that. What was your experience like?
So the way we got to Japan is I was in the studio with Sim. I was visiting Japan. I was in the studio with Sim, and we were working on our song called Chains, and I was like, hey, someone goes, hey, Bryan, have you ever been to Japan before? And I was like, well, I'm here now. They're like, no, have you ever played here before? And I said, no, but I would absolutely love to. And as the singer of Sim was walking into the vocal booth, he kind of turns around and he goes, oh, do you want to play here? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, and he looks at his manager, he goes, can we throw them on the festival? I was like, what? And the manager's like, yeah, sure, I don't see why not. And then another manager comes over to me and goes, hey, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you on the festival. You're going to come here. You're going to play a show with Skindred. And then you're going to do a few shows by yourselves. And then you'll probably break even if that's okay with you. I was like, this all happened like super quickly. And I was like,
wow.
Sure, that sounds great. And they're like, okay, cool. We'll coordinate things with your management and everything. I was like, great. So I text the boys. I'm like, hey, do you guys want to play Japan? And they're like, yeah, that'd be so fucking sick. I was like, great. That's super cool. So our management and their management coordinated everything. And I don't know how it all works over there, but everything that was said to me in the studio of how we were going to go about getting to Japan, the whole nine, it all happened. They took care of literally everything. So after we toured with Sim, we got back for a couple weeks, and then we flew out to Japan. We played their festival because Sim puts on their own festival in Japan because they're a massive band there. And then we played a show with Skindred, which was one of the coolest bands I've ever seen live. And then we did a few shows on our own, and it was very, very cool. Definitely a culture shock. Not so much. I was expecting a lot of the things. Like I was expecting the way things were going to look, the food. I was expecting those sorts of things. I was not expecting like the fans to be the way that they are. So like, for those listeners that don't know, when you go to Japan, it's not like playing to American crowds. It's very much you tell them to do something and they do it as fast as possible. Like if you tell them to open up a pit and you look down for 1 second, you look back up and the sea is fucking parted. It's truly insane. You tell them to jump, they're jumping for the entire song. Like it's truly insane playing to these crowds.
Yeah, man. I remember that. Like you just said, they're very reactive to
Yes.
the action going on stage, including down to the part of like you stop a song. I remember. I don't know if they're still doing it. It's been a long time since I've been there.
They are.
But, yeah, they stop a song and it's dead silent.
Yeah,
they're just waiting. They're waiting for you to fucking say something. And you get used to it pretty quickly. Don't get me wrong, but like the first few times, you're just like, this feels so weird because you end the song and you're not getting this praise of cheers and everyone losing their shit. They're just like, the song ends, your last note hits, and they go silent at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're just like waiting to see what the singer's going to say.
Yeah, no, they do clap these days. They're like, they clap. They do the quick clap and then they go. And you're like, dude, it was definitely weird for the first show. I got used to it after the first show, but like they clapped and they stopped and it was just silent. And like the first show we played was a festival. So like there's like 10,000 people.
Oh yeah.
Was watching us and like they all clap and then they stop and I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking weird. I feel like I need to talk. Like I feel like I need to say something, but I'm like trying to get a drink of water or whatever. I'm like, this is just so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Festivals are definitely that. I think our first experience was a festival as well.
Yeah. It was cool though, but yeah, it was fucking weird. But like I said, if you tell them to do something, they do it. They don't fight you on it. Because in America, you get the guys that are just better than you, that are just way cooler than you. And they don't want to, they'll be in the pit. They'll be right in the middle of the pit. And you'll be like, hey, I need everybody to get down. And they'll literally just look at you and go, no. Like,
why are you standing there then? Don't be a dick.
Yeah. Right? Dude, I've gotten to the point where like, I'll like talk shit to people. If like they're like being a dick to me in the crowd, I'm like, I'll talk shit to them.
Yeah. You got it.
It's like, I pointed to a guy, I'm like, there's a guy who was like, at one part in our show, I go, everybody get down, we're going to jump for this next one, whatever. And so usually everybody gets down, but not always, but you get a guy who's going to be right in the middle of the pit going, no, I'm not doing it. And I like pointed to like these guys, I was like, oh, you think you're too cool to do this? And then he's just like, not doing it. I was like, okay, then get the fuck out. Like, leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes they leave. I'm like, whatever.
What happens if they don't leave though?
Oh, then it's weird. Then I gotta stand still. Then I just gotta stand there and just like stare at the guy and be like, this turns into a staring competition with this guy.
Dude. Yeah, you always gotta, I mean, you have talking about being more of a road dog now. You learned that stuff from the road, right? Like over and over, and you become more comfortable with those interactions, right?
Yeah, you become comfortable with the interactions. You see the wildest shit on stage sometimes too, especially at festivals. But yeah, you get really used to it pretty quickly, and like talking to people doesn't really intimidate you as much. I mean,
Right.
talking to people one-on-one will definitely like be more intimidating to me than talking to people on stage at this point in my life.
Oh, of course.
So
Of
yeah,
course.
but yeah, definitely have played to the crowds that absolutely hate us and don't want us there, and we played to the crowds that absolutely love us and can't get enough. So it's like, you know, it's all part of it.
Yeah.
But didn't you play the
so
Blue Ridge?
real quick
You
before we
really
get
have,
off,
didn't you do Blue Ridge too? The Blue
We
Ridge
did
one
do
that-
Blue Ridge, yeah. Yeah.
So you were part of that chaos,
So we
or-
were supposed. No. So we were in Philadelphia the night before we were supposed to go up to Blue Ridge, and then all hell broke loose with Blue Ridge, and it was because of weather. But so we were just like, oh, we're just gonna stay in Philly. The issue is that all of our girlfriends and significant others, they all flew to Blue Ridge. So they were in Blue Ridge and we were in Philly. And so we convinced them all to rent a car and drive to us and hang out in Philly for a few days. So we missed the fiasco and I got to hang out in Philly. So that was tight.
what'd you do in Philly? Do you remember?
I got drunk at a casino, the one by the Fillmore. I don't know if you've ever played that venue.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure we have.
Yeah, probably a long time ago, but yeah. There was a casino by the Fillmore, so I went there. I think we went to a show. I don't really remember. I think we saw Escape the Fate. I don't fully remember what we did. And then just like walked around Philly, shopped a little bit, got to like see the city, which was super cool. So yeah.
Have you spent a lot of time in Philly?
No, that was my first time ever spending
was
like
your
some good time in Philly.
Oh, right. Did you go get a cheesesteak?
No, but I have done that before. I did get a cheesesteak in Philly many years ago, like in like 2019.
Okay. Do you remember what place you went with?
It was famous.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Aren't they
I
all
don't remember.
famous? I think
It's
even in
just-
California, it's world famous. It's like,
Yeah.
They're all world famous. You know, they're
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
world
they're all-
famous.
it's
Is there a
standard.
specific place I should be going?
I don't know. So, because I'm not a Philly local. I've played Philly many, many times, and I love Philly. Spent a lot of time there. I usually just do there's Pat's and Gino's right next, like across the street from each other, and I usually I'll get a sandwich from each place and compare, and I usually end up going Pat's every time, man. I'm more of a Pat's guy.
Okay.
But there are, and then every time we go back, there's a promoter or a runner, somebody that's from there that says, you got to try out this place. So we usually do Pat's versus whatever place they say. And I usually just end up with Pat's, man. Pat's is my jam.
No, that's always fun. I'll have to check out Pat's next time I'm there.
One time I went there and I ordered, there was a bunch of, it was pretty sad really, but fun story out of it. There was a bunch of homeless people around Pat's and Gino's. Like we went out at later night, and there was later at night rather, and there was a bunch of homeless people around, and I was like, I'm gonna get extra sandwiches. I'm just gonna get a fucking shit ton of extra sandwiches and just hand them out.
That's
and
awesome.
I did. I got a bunch of sandwiches. I started handing them out. These homeless people were not looking for food. They
Never are.
They got mad that I was giving them food and not drugs.
Oh,
And they were like just throwing the fucking food back at me. I was like, oh shit. Like, sorry, I thought you guys wanted food.
I saw that happen in Portland to a lady. She
Really?
handed like a homeless guy a sandwich, and he said, "Do you think I fucking want this?" It's like, dude.
Like, yeah, obviously. I thought you're struggling, man. How's the fucking food? I don't know.
No, you're a piece
Fuck
of
me,
shit.
right?
You're like,
that happens in
you know what they
Huntington, too.
probably went to look up? They're probably look like hey man, I got something for you, and they're probably looking up going drugs, and it's a fucking sandwich, and they go, fuck you, dude.
I was in Huntington, and my old neighbor, not the most giving guy, but he had some thought in his brain. He's like, you know what? That lady on the corner that's homeless, I'm gonna take all the food that we got, and I'm gonna give her a big thing of it. And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. So we drive up, and I'm in the back seat, and he goes to hand it to her, and she looks, and she goes, I'm vegan. I don't know if I can have most of this stuff. And I'm like, you're on the street begging.
Well, just
and,
pick.
Yeah. Pick
Well,
the
then
non-vegan.
just
And then
take it out. Pick the stuff that's out. Don't need to tell me that.
she got the
fucking take
Doritos. She goes,
food.
I think this is vegan. I'm like, how vegan are you that you don't know if Doritos are vegan or not? I don't know. But
Only in California would you get a
right.
vegan homeless person. Only in California. Specifically Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Huntington Beach, but like,
no.
it's even the homeless people are bougie.
Talk about
there.
my home.
Yeah, the homeless. It's a bougie there.
And you're from Florida,
It is,
and you're
it
saying
is.
this.
I am, but Huntington Beach is it's a different level of bougie.
That's funny because we're actually like considered the least bougie of the beach towns in Orange County.
Well, you got
funny.
Manhattan Beach,
Newport.
which is Manhattan Beach is insane.
Yeah, and you got Newport and Laguna.
Oh yeah. You guys are the peasants of it all, huh?
We're the
we are,
Roughnecks. Yeah.
We're the blue collar community.
We're not.
Oh my god.
We're not representing the OC housewives. You know.
Oh my god. That's so funny. You guys made it sound so tough. Oh, we grew up in Huntington Beach. It was tough out here.
It was tough, man. It was tough. You got to deal with the beach.
Yeah,
and,
dude.
and all that.
All the vegan
It's
vagrants.
nice.
We would get splinters on the
All the
beach.
vegan vagrants. I don't know why. I feel like we shouldn't be laughing this much about vagrants.
The slums of Huntington Beach.
Dude, we're definitely getting some hate comments about laughing about vagrants on this episode, but that's okay.
Vagrants?
welcome 'em.
Vegans?
They can't afford a computer.
Vegan
They're fine.
vagrants. Yeah, no, it won't be them. It'll be somebody else who's like, don't laugh at them. And I'm like, I know. I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing at the situation.
Yes.
Come on, fuck off.
Nah, I'm laughing at them.
No, yeah, Brian's laughing at them.
Yeah,
But
they don't enjoy the finer things in life.
no, they do. They just do it from the
right?
streets, apparently.
That's true.
Oh man! Speaking of the streets, though, let's go back to Japan real quick.
Okay.
'Cause I wanted to ask a little bit deeper on that. You already covered the shows. You said you were there when you were in the studio before you even were doing the shows. What was your experience like just walking the streets? What were some of your favorite spots in Japan? You said you went back there and toured and stuff, so you went to multiple cities, obviously.
Yeah.
What was your favorite city? What was your favorite? Did you guys do the bullet train? I know that was one of my favorite things the first time we went.
Yeah, so we did. So as a band, we did the bullet train. I went with my girlfriend, and where did we go? We went in March, which was a great time to go. The weather was fantastic, although it was a little cold, but it was great weather. So I did the bullet train then, but taking the boys back, I was like, I want to see if I can get you guys on the bullet train because we had a really long drive. I think it was from Tokyo to Osaka. I think was the drive. It was either Tokyo to Osaka or Tokyo to Nagoya. It was one of the two. And I was like, if you guys want, we can all take the bullet train together and you guys can experience what that's like. And everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. Which was super stressful because like traveling in Japan, like when you're just kind of like not from there and you don't have a guide or anything like that. I don't know if you guys
didn't have a guide. You guys didn't have a guide.
No, our guide was driving the van with the gear.
Ah, okay.
So he was not helping us with the bullet train really. We very much went off on our own because we were like, everyone's like, oh, I want to get to Nagoya early, explore the city a little bit. I don't want to sit in a car for like 6 hours or whatever. And so we all jumped on a bullet train and that was very cool. I love the bullet train. I think it's the sickest thing ever. And I think we need them in America.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, just being able to get everywhere that fast. Like, I mean, yeah, it is a little hectic in the actual like subway, like walking around and stuff, or the tour, whatever you want to call it, the station before the train leaves the
also,
station, right?
Our drummer lost his ticket on the way out, and this is something we didn't know. If you lose your ticket on the way out, because you have to scan in and scan out, if you lose your ticket on the way out, they don't let you out if you don't pay for the ticket in full again.
Oh,
so you're not allowed to leave.
You're not
allowed to leave unless you pay $75.
Wow.
So that was interesting.
Well, for all the listeners who are going to go to Japan, remember that shit.
Yeah, and one last tip: don't be early for the bullet train. Like, and by that I mean your bullet train, the one that you're supposed to get on, is dead on time.
Yes.
Always dead on time. If you get on 5 minutes too early, you are on the wrong train. Because I did this my first time going. We were on the wrong train going from Osaka back to Tokyo, and the train was supposed to take only 2 hours, and it took 5 hours because it stopped at every single station.
Brutal.
Yeah. But favorite spot though, I really like Shibuya. I really like Harajuku.
Harajuku and Shibuya is definitely.
Yeah. And then I like all of it. Like Shinjuku's tight. I also really like Kyoto. I wish I spent more time there. Honestly, all the places are really cool. Like, there's so many different things you can get. Like, Osaka's got a lot of really cool things. It's insane, but there's a lot of really cool things there. Like, Osaka Castle is really cool. What about you? What's like your favorite spot to go?
It's been so long since I've been there. Actually, we need to get back. It's been shit. I can't even remember. It's been at least a decade.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I remember really enjoying Osaka. Shibuya. Was awesome. I mean, what's it called? Why am I drawing a blank? In downtown Tokyo, not Shibuya, not
Shinjuku,
not Harajuku, the other one.
Shinjuku.
Not Shinjuku.
Shibuya.
Started with an R, I believe.
Oh.
Why am I drawing a blank?
R.
I thought it's like the main spot in Tokyo where like the fucking rock club is not the rock bar.
The rock
other
bar,
one.
that's in Shinjuku.
But I'm not talking about that one. It's Roppongi. Roppongi. I knew it'd come to me.
Roppongi. Okay.
Yeah. I liked Roppongi a lot. At the time there was that's where the club and restaurant scene was, and that's what we were doing most of the time.
Gotcha. I have never been to Roppongi.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know.
Time.
I don't even know where that is.
Okay, it's in Tokyo.
Okay.
It's part. It's in Tokyo. I don't know if it's still the Roppongi that it was a decade ago, but it was fun then.
Nobody has ever told me to go there, so that's why I've never gone. No one's even mentioned it to me.
Really?
Also, for people that don't know, Tokyo's fucking massive.
Yeah.
Tokyo's very fucking.
It's a city. It not only is it massive, it's built on top of. I mean, it was a trip for me. The first time I saw was the street levels. I mean, it's like 4 levels, and on every street, it's like being at a mall, but outside, and every level has a different city on it.
Yep, and there's like department stores everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like it's insane. It is insane, and like the subway stations are all like department stores themselves. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good to know. It hasn't changed too much. I want to get back there. I love the food there too. Sushi and shabu is like my favorite cuisine. Japanese cuisine in general is amazing, but those are like my two go-tos. Did you get to get into some of that, or are you a vegan vagrant as well?
Oh well, no. I did have sushi. Conveyor sushi is insane there. Also,
it's actually good there, not like here.
Oh yeah,
you don't want conveyor sushi in America, but conveyor sushi in Japan is okay.
Also, the fish markets. The fish market there did that. Ate like freshly cut salmon or tuna belly, sorry, and salmon. But yeah, freshly cut tuna belly, and like that is so good. And they just stick it on like a little bit of rice and just give it to you right there, and you're like, this is insane. Did do an omakase in Japan, and I did not like it.
You didn't like it?
No. It was
maybe you picked the wrong spot.
I definitely did. I thought that getting omakase in Japan would be a little bit cheaper than America, because food in Japan is like 50% off. It's way cheaper in Japan. So I've had omakase in America, and I absolutely love it. So going to Japan, I was like, I'm going to love it even more. And so I picked an omakase place that was like maybe like $60 a person. And it was just bad. It was weird. Like the sushi wasn't that great. And I also don't like uni, which is sea urchin. I thought that was very disgusting. And then
uni's an acquired taste for sure. It's really the texture. It's not so much the taste as the texture you got to get past, I found.
I feel like it's also the taste for me. And I bring this up to I bring this up to like all like my Japanese friends, and they're always just like, oh, I love uni. And I go, I don't. They're like, that's okay.
More for us. More
for us. And then also there was like another little thing where it's like these little fish with eyes, like these little eyes. It's like baby fish, and you just eat it raw. And it was like, it didn't taste bad, but it was a very weird experience for me.
Did you guys do the blowfish while you're out there?
I did not do the blowfish.
All right. We did the blowfish once, and it made me feel really bad. Because they give it to you like on the plate with the fucking blowfish still alive.
Is he blowing up?
No, well, you're supposed to get him before that. Like, there's like the whole process. I don't remember what it is, but you have to have like a specific chef that knows what they're doing. Because if you fuck up the blowfish, because if you fuck up the when you pop them, it taints all the meat and you get the poison.
Yeah.
So there's a certain way you have to do it. That's why they have to be alive or some shit on it. They put like a giant toothpick through the fucking thing, and you have the fillets from the fish laying next to it while this thing's still like moving its mouth and stuff, like alive. And it's like on the plate and you're like grabbing the meat next to it and eating it in front of it. And I'm like, I did it because it was something to do.
Yeah.
I probably had a few drinks before.
For sure.
Does it even taste good, or is it just more the
I don't think I'd
presentation?
do it again. Dude, I don't fucking remember. I was too horrified at the fact that I was eating this poor thing right in front of it.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I would definitely do it too because it just seems like something to do. That's why I ate the fucking fish with the eyes.
Yeah, you kind of like sometimes
Just
when you're
check it.
traveling. I mean, this goes to like when you start. When you're traveling and you're going to these places for the first time, a lot of it you go, okay, maybe that wasn't as cultural as it was supposed to be, whatever the case may be, and you're like, I could have passed on doing that. But first few times you're there, you're like, I got to try all this stuff. You know, you're doing everything. I mean, and that's kind of. It's a great thing, though, really, that we get to do this for a living, Brian,
Totally.
and travel and see all these places. I always akin my travels to, that was my college. I didn't really go to college. That was my college. You learn different different stuff, and you learn so much that way. It's more hands-on. I think that's really great for people to travel, and we get to do it and get paid while we do it, or as you mentioned with Japan, break even sometimes.
even.
It's okay.
I'll take that. I'll take that all day.
Take that. It's paid vacation, get to go play for your fans, you know, not a big deal.
Completely.
But that traveling is just, it's so educational in a lot of ways, and you don't even realize it. I don't know about for you, but I didn't realize it most of the time until I got older, and I look back at it now. It's like these memories. I'm like, wow, I did experience that stuff. It was so different. And going back to you guys becoming more road dogs over the last few years, maybe you could speak to that a little bit. Some of the other places you've been to, even in our own country, there's cultural shocks because our country's so vast. I mean,
100%.
you look at how big it is. State to state can often get pretty different. So talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, I know you guys have to have had those experiences over the last few years as well.
Yeah, I do want to say, to add to your point though, there's just like almost growing up that you do when you travel to a different country.
Absolutely.
You start seeing things differently. It's interesting. It's really interesting because like when I came back from Japan, I'm like, I've been to other countries before, but like when you really get that like culture shock, when you really like get that experience of like, I'm in a completely different part of the world. You get this different perspective on everybody in America and the way that America works. And it's very interesting. It's interesting that you said it's like an education, because it is. It feels like I've like learned so much so quickly. But I will touch on the things in America and stuff that we get to see. But last culture shock that I remembered was we got on a train in Japan. And so on trains in Japan, you're not supposed to speak. Like, you're supposed to be extremely quiet. The trains themselves are quiet. Because it's considered rude to speak, because it's very
taxis too. We got shushed. In a taxi.
Yeah, that will happen.
Amazing.
And between songs at concerts.
Couldn't even believe it. Yeah, and in between songs and concerts. Yeah. No, it was amazing. We were in a taxi, and this guy's white gloved. You know, all the taxi drivers wearing white gloves, and they're super proper. And we're just talking like we normally. We weren't even being crazy. I'm sure we were drinking and stuff, and maybe we got a little loud a couple of times, but it was pretty normal. And he just like kept looking back and shushing us, and we're like, the first few times didn't get it. I honestly didn't even get it. I was like, what just happened? And then like after a while, I was like, is he shushing us? Is that what's happening right now?
Oh yeah, 100%. So our front of house guy he can't like sit with his thoughts. He needs to speak. And the silence on the trains was not doing well for him. And so he would talk and it was fine. We got on a train one morning at 7 a.m. because we had to go catch a bullet train. And so we got on a train from our hotel at 7 a.m. And when we got on this train, it was rush hour. Like, you see like all these people lining up behind you because you line into a single file line to get into each cart. And so I'm like, okay, this is about to be really crazy. And I looked at everybody. I'm like, okay, everybody take your backpacks and put them in front of you, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to put your backpacks in front of you because it makes a smaller space, I guess. I don't really know. I don't make the rules. So we get on the train and we're getting in there, and you see like these, like, I don't know if they're police or like they work for the train stations, whatever. They're literally pushing people into the train.
Oh yeah, we've all seen that. Everyone at home has seen that on their social media. For sure.
That's a real fucking thing.
That's real. That's every fucking train station.
Did you guys take trains when you were there?
We did the first couple times. We did the bullet train. I don't remember if we did any other trains, but like even still, like I think we did have to do a couple of the smaller ones where we were packed and like we saw that happening. It was, I mean, that was before social media. I'd seen it on social media. You know, when I saw it on social media, I was like, everybody else sees it now too, fuckers.
I feel like it was a little bit more culture shock for you because before I went to Japan, I knew everything I could have possibly known about it because of social media.
Right.
I feel like you go in there, you're like, what the fuck? We have to do this. We have to do this. What are the rules? This is a rule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was very much that.
So for us, when we finally get stuffed in this train, and they're like, okay, I was like, okay, we're in this train, and then like I'm looking at everybody, I'm just everyone's making eye contact because like there's literally like a lady's face like in my shoulder and shit, and it's like all good, and then the train starts moving and it's silent. There's 300 people in one cart. Like someone's here, like we're all literally touching each other. We're stuffed like sardines. Dead silence. And I'm like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. Because there's 300 people and nobody's talking.
And how long are you on that train for?
It was only like a 15-minute train ride, but it was just,
okay. It
was just dead silence. So it was very, very weird. But yes, talking to your point of traveling a lot, in America, like we still see all sorts of like really cool things. Like when we were just doing this trip where I was stranded in Salt Lake City, we had to drive from Salt Lake City to Sweetwater, which is in the middle of Wyoming. And it was a 3-hour drive, but you get to see these vast like mountains in this like these really like crazy, I don't know, like it just looks like the desert, but like so beautiful. Like Grand Canyon looking cliffs and all these sorts of things, and you get to see all of it, and it's just like super cool. And then you get to this county fair that's in the middle of nowhere, and there's a bunch of like blue collared individuals that are just so happy that you're there. From
Huntington Beach.
Oh yeah. Huntington Beach, yes. But they're like so stoked that you're there and like so grateful and so trustworthy. We flew out, just 5 of us. It was just 5 of us. It was the band in our front of house because that's all you really need. Mm-hmm. And we had someone from the festival selling our merch, and then it was like she was doing our merch, taking care of our cash, and she's like, and I had to deal with it on the way out. And she's like, do you want to count the cash in front of me? I was like, no, I trust you. She's like, yeah, we're good people around here. And she's like, we don't do any of that. And I'm like, they are. They're like the best people. Like, I bought soap from a random lady, and her daughter noticed it was me because of my necklace. And then the random lady runs out, and she's just like, hey, thank you so much for buying soap from us. We love your band. We love everything you do. And it's like, you meet the nicest people ever. Yeah. And it's like, it's really cool to see that like really does exist. Like that hospitality exists, especially when we live in places like, Florida and California, where mind your own fucking business.
Yeah, it is the coastal vibes of this country. Is like, yeah, we could be friendly and everything. Like I'm extremely friendly still, but yes, like you're friendly, but definitely everyone has their borders, their barriers, but like keep you at an arm's distance. Whereas a lot of, to your point, a lot of the other states in the middle of the country are still more open.
Yeah, I think Florida, we definitely have an attitude towards us, and like we just like exude Florida anywhere we go. Like
everyone just doesn't like the Floridians at this point.
We don't like each other either.
Ohio's taken over for you guys. You know what I mean? Like everyone's talking about Ohio. My kids are just everything's Ohio now.
Well, yeah, they lost.
I hear
LeBron
you love playing there.
What did you say? I love Ohio. I said they lost LeBron, and it's been downhill since. Right. But I do love Ohio. Ohio, like every time we play Ohio, they fucking go crazy. Like, there's some states where people go, what's your favorite? Like, because people go, oh, what's your favorite place? And I'm like, to play or to visit? And because it's 2 very different things.
Yes.
But Ohio, they go insane. They literally, all they have is like rock music and sports. And they fucking go crazy.
I love Ohio.
Oh, yeah. And also Philly. Philly goes crazy too. Mm-hmm. Philly will be like...
Oh, did you guys get heckled in Philly? Is Philly still known for its heckling? I mean, when we were doing the club scenes and stuff and playing Philly, they had some of the most epic calls on us ever. And I to this day, I still love them.
What is that?
Like if they're on the stage and the song stops and the crowd is there heckling you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Philly's known for it, right?
Oh
Are
yeah.
they still known for it
They
in the club scene?
Yeah, they very much will be yelling at you. They'll also like cheer you on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
it's
like
in fun. A lot of it's in fun. Like it took us a few times to realize that because at first some of those cuts were so good and just like hurt a little bit. You're like, fuck, dude, he got me good that time.
Yeah.
And then you look back and it's like, oh, that's what they're known for. Like this is like they go. There's guys who go out to the clubs with like have an idea of what they're going to say when the song ends, and it's like, oh yeah,
you get the play something. It's like we just did.
We had some great ones, man. It was fantastic.
It's funny you talk about heckling. I literally at the county fair, I was getting heckled by a guy because at this county fair, you're not allowed to mosh. Found that out. Accidentally got some people kicked out. Yeah, so there's no moshing allowed. No, you're not even allowed to be on somebody's shoulders. They were very strict about it. And the security were very big guys, and so I was not going to be the kind of guy that was like, no, fuck that security guard. I mean, they're just doing their jobs.
Okay.
But I had this guy in the crowd who kept doing this in the back. Like, he just wanted a circle pit. And I was just like, sir, we're not doing a circle pit. I'm sorry. And he's like, I don't care. Do it. I was like,
well, he's the one in the crowd. Get it going then, man. I'm not going to fucking call it out.
He's trying to get me to say it. I'm like, I'm not saying it.
No, I'm going to get fined for
round
that
of drinks.
You go and do it. Maybe that's what it was.
No. This guy did not want a round of drinks. This guy wanted a fucking circle pit. I was like, no.
Did you get any food there?
Yeah,
it's a fair.
We did not. We got food at a we had a runner that went and grabbed food for us, because we didn't want to. I don't know. It was easier for us to take our buyout money and give them buyout money so they could go get us food instead of us.
That's always the case. Yeah.
Sam
doesn't play these festivals, so he doesn't know. We're not going out into the concessions and grabbing fucking fried food at the fair.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to bring Sam with you?
Yeah.
I'm
the one that eats it and I bring it back.
Stupid.
Yep, I do.
Yeah, that's right.
I went to Limp Bizkit and I dropped in the middle of the shit. Yeah, no, you don't want me going to
That's true. He fucking passed out. He passed out. This old bastard over here passed out during fucking Limp Bizkit.
Why?
Because he's old.
It was aftershock. It's aftershock. I hydrated up, I thought, and then it was just too much, and I just sweated and it's hot as fuck. So yeah.
Oh, damn. I've almost passed out on stage before, so I'm almost passed out very recently.
Really?
Let's talk about the recent one. I've definitely been in some hot, sweaty ones that feels like that.
Yeah, every show that I feel like I'm going to talk about literally just happened. So when we were playing the county fair, have you guys ever done a county fair?
No.
Okay, they're really cool.
I've heard good things from people. It's never been a thing that I don't know, man. Just never done it.
But so being from Florida, we grow up fucking below sea level. Like, genuinely, Florida is below sea level. Like, you dig 1 foot and you hit water.
Yeah.
So when we travel to elevated places, we don't do that well. It becomes hard to breathe. It becomes hard to sing, and we don't do that great.
So you're going to talk about Denver?
Denver, not just Denver, because we've done fly-ins for Denver before. Wyoming, Sweetwater is 7,000 feet up. So,
is this Sweetwater? Wait, you keep saying, is this involved in Sweetwater, the music?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
It's just, I don't even know if it's called Sweetwater. It's just the county fair. It's called Sweetwater County Fair.
Okay, gotcha.
But where we were playing was 7,000 feet up. And so Denver is 5,000 feet up. Salt Lake City is 4,000 feet up. So we flew in, went to the show, and we're 7,000 feet up. And as a singer, and also as a set that we threw together last second, because they're like, oh, you guys got to play 60 minutes. We're like, okay, we weren't ready for that, but okay, we can do that. And so we threw together a set last second, no breaks. We're playing like 15 songs in 60 minutes, which is pretty decent amount of songs. Mm-hmm. It's just like being up that high, and also we had the sun on us. So being up that high and being about 100 degrees outside and having the sun on you, I almost passed out 3 times that set. I believe it. Yeah, singing and it was fucking brutal. There was one song where I just kind of stumbled through. I sounded like a drunken idiot. But I'm just getting through this song. I gotta make it through this song because our entire next song is just full screaming. So,
dude, brutal.
Are you still smoking?
Yeah. No, I don't smoke.
Oh, Oh.
Yeah, I did. Stop
Yeah.
that. That was
Johnny
How
did
long
too.
ago did you stop that?
I smoked cigarettes for a very long time because, my favorite singer of all time, Chester Bennington, also smoked cigarettes. And
Okay.
yeah. And so I smoked cigarettes for the longest time. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to quit cigarettes because like I don't like the smell of it. It's bad or whatever. So I started just vaping. And then vaping lasted me for a very long time. Probably like, I want to say like 6 years I vaped.
Okay.
And then maybe not that long, but somewhere around that time. And then last year I was like, I'm going to quit this because I don't want to do this anymore. It's really bad for my mental health. It's really bad for my anxiety. And so I just cold turkey, or I didn't actually cold turkey. I like weaned myself off of vaping because you can lower your dosage on it. And so I eventually got off of it, and I was the biggest piece of shit ever while getting off of it. But I eventually did it. So yeah, I'm more than a year. I stopped in February of
congratulations.
2023. So
Nice.
Congratulations there,
Yeah,
man.
thank
That's
you.
awesome.
what about you, Johnny? How long?
Oh, I don't even know. It just kind of, I see Sam always says stuff like that's very nice, and I appreciate it, Sam. I did quit smoking, but it's not like I like did anything great. I'm just using those Zins and other nicotine pouches like that. So I
Gotcha.
don't smoke, but I still fuck with nicotine, I guess. And yeah, I haven't smoked in a very long time. I don't know. It's been probably about a year, Sam. I don't know, something like that.
It's been that long. Holy
But
shit.
like I said,
That's crazy.
I didn't like. It wasn't a conscious decision to stop smoking, to be honest. I just like these, and I was like, it's probably better for me. My lungs feel better, so
Yeah,
let's go with that.
it was just inconvenient to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, it really, yeah. This is way more, especially on flights, traveling, Zins, everything like that. So fucking works so much better.
Dude, I used to
Wait.
vape on planes all the fucking time. I would always get the window seat and I would just vape on the plane. I didn't care.
Did you ever get caught?
Not once.
Wow,
Yeah.
pro.
Yeah, no, I was good at it. I would hold it in for a little bit.
Okay.
That's the one thing I miss about flying is like just being able to vape on a plane. Or that's one thing I miss about smoking is vaping on a fucking plane.
No, it's the thing you miss about flying is being able to.
Breaking federal
I still
laws.
fly all
Miss
the
it.
fucking time, bro.
Yeah. I was just saying, yeah, I'm sure you fly more now than ever. I'm sure.
Dude, all the time. Also, like the TSA, like they really annoy me. Like
Yeah, are you on pre-check yet?
I'm pre-check and clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still annoying. I know. I agree.
No, because they fucking change the rules, man. They like always like every TSA is different. I literally have the same suitcase flying to Denver from Salt Lake as I did flying from Denver to Orlando. But no, this one gets stopped. And then they whip out like my fucking like my lotion. And they're like, "Sir, this is too much because it says on the package it's too much." And I go, "Yeah, but look at what's actually in it. It's not too much." Like the lotion's like pretty much empty. And this is just me trying to prove a point to the TSA. I was like, the lotion is pretty much empty. There's not 8 ounces of lotion in it. Even though it says it's 8 ounces, there's not 8 ounces in it. Like, and they're like, yeah, but it says 8 ounces. I'm like, and I can make a label that says 3.5 or 3.4, whatever the fuck.
Right.
But like, is that what it actually is? Like, I'm gonna next time I go flying, I'm taking this water bottle. I'm putting a fucking giant sticker on it that says 3.4. Leave it filled up for them. But it's like they couldn't comprehend that no longer had 8 ounces in it.
Yeah. Well, then you're gonna ask them to start measuring it out, and then the line's gonna take longer, Brian. You can't do that.
I was in pre-check and it was 4 a.m. We're totally okay.
fucking measure it, all right?
Yeah, no, I literally said if you were to empty this out right now, it would not equal even 3
But
ounces.
then how are you gonna jerk off on the plane?
That's
without
what I'm
your
saying,
lotion?
bro. I couldn't jerk off on the fucking plane.
Can't smoke. You can't jerk off. What a fucking shitty flight.
Can't smoke, can't jerk off.
God, they really ruined fucking 9/11. Really ruined planes.
You're jerking off on planes. Dude, we did it.
No more vaping, no more jerking off. What does this world come to?
Damn, we made it to 9/11 today. That's crazy.
Yeah, you never know where you're gonna go.
Yeah. You ever go on Instagram Reels?
No.
You never go on your Instagram Reels ever? You never just like swipe on Reels?
No.
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh, dude.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. Tell
You
me,
send me
don't tell
shit all
things
the
that I
time.
don't do. That doesn't mean that I'm fucking going through reels.
Oh, you're
I
okay.
things happen on my feed and I fucking look at it, or just on my timeline when I'm like, I'm
Wow.
rarely on these days, to be honest. I'm on to like post about this show and then I'm off. Like I don't really fuck around on
A
it.
little post and
Too
ghost,
much.
huh?
I'm a post and ghost kind of guy these days.
for sure.
I can't stay on it too long. I got shit to do. I got a kid. I don't know.
That's fair. I understand. I will, just
Do you
when
go
I'm
on
taking a
Reels?
little bathroom break.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love Reels. It's so good. If my feed ever got released, though, I'm getting canceled 100%.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Bring out the phone.
No,
I want to see what your search feed is.
If we could, like,
We got to do that. Like one of these times, we got to each of us just hold up our fucking search feed and
dude, mine,
No, I don't
mine
believe
might
it.
look innocent.
Because you
No,
literally
okay,
click on one
I will-
thing
I-
once and it ruins everything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, dude. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
bullshit, Sam. That's just it's a reflection. It's a mirror, buddy. It's a reflection of what you want, and you don't like it. You don't like yourself yet.
well, it's also
You need
very
more
telling,
therapy.
right? You're like, I didn't know I liked this so much.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh shit, maybe I am into feet. I don't know.
yeah.
Like,
So mine has been a lot of 9/11 shit.
What?
oh, okay. That's why you just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like there's this one meme that happens where people are like getting a tattoo in 2024 what it's like, and it shows like a robot tattooing somebody. And then it's like tattooing in 2014 what it's like, and then it shows like a person tattooing. And then it's like getting tattooed in 2021. It just shows a picture, like a video of the Twin Towers getting hit.
Oh, brutal.
It's
I was expecting to go on a 23-year-old tangent here. But,
And
dude,
And we're from-
and Instagram Reels is like it's where you get to see the truly worst of humanity. Because
that's all social media, man. That's exactly
Right.
why I don't spend too much time on it anymore.
that's fair enough. But, look, Facebook is one thing, TikTok's another thing. Instagram Reels is like an animal. So I get these videos where it's like somebody doing something, and the video is like fine. It's nothing. It's like whatever. It could be a video of like somebody trying to sing but not sounding very good or whatever, and it's nothing to pay any mind to. But then for some reason it's got like 7,000 comments, and then you're like, what? Why does it have 7,000 comments? And then you look at the comments, and you realize why it has 7,000 comments. And it's just
rude.
It's
so rude.
It's the rudest shit ever, and I'm so fucking addicted to it. I just cannot help myself. And then
You're
there's
the problem. You're the problem, bro.
And then there's a bunch of us that just like send the most fucked up memes to each other all the time.
Oh, I do that. That's what Sam's accurate on. Like I find like whatever comes up on my feed for whatever reason when I'm there for the 5-10 minutes while we're doing the thing in the morning, I'll send stuff, and it's usually the most inappropriate or just most fucked up shit I could find that I think is funny.
I'm right there with you. And so that's why it's like, if people were ever going to try and like, if it ever got leaked and people were like, Bryan from Fame on Fire is such a piece of shit. Look at his DMs. He thinks this is funny. I'd be like, yeah, I do. Like, get the fuck over yourself.
I'm so glad though, like it's finally happened, or at least it feels that way.
You're right. You are right with what you're about to say.
Everyone, it finally feels that way. Everyone's just like, oh, right, we can have thicker skin than this. It's okay. It's okay. Not everyone needs to be canceled. Not everyone needs to be this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I knew that this would happen and I'm not saying it. I knew this would happen because I'm so fucking smart. I mean, I am very smart, but this isn't the reason why.
Dude, you're the smartest.
I know. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
But I called it because it happens more often than not. It's a pendulum, right? Like everyone came in and went so hard in the paint on all this cancel culture based on all this, he said, she said, whatever, one person says to another, whatever the fucking case may be. And everyone was getting canceled and have to go away for, a period of time, and they'd come back. The good news is for most entertainers, when they came back, they had a bigger following than when they got canceled. So it actually worked out well.
Oh, yeah.
them.
I mean,
But-
you look at so many people like, Shane Gillis exists.
That's
Dude, Shane Gillis is fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
that was so good.
He's
Stand-up
untouchable.
was so good.
I mean, you look at our scene. We have Ronnie Racky, who is very untouchable. Like,
I love it. I love seeing that. And everyone gets so up in arms. Or like when we did that tour with them, like it was an internal discussion. Like, oh, like so much of this shit is out there on social media and stuff. And we're just like, yeah, but do we know if any of it's true? Do we look at exactly what Ronnie's doing? Ronnie's smart. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
He's causing the commotion. That's what social media is for. He's one of the smart ones, is using it properly these days. It's not about your post. It's not about your following. It's about the engagement. And how are you going to get the engagement? By riling up the fucking the audience. And I mean, politicians have been doing it for several years now. Why can't everybody else? You know, that's the whole fucking point of it.
100%. I mean, like, Ronnie Radke's like the Kanye of the rock scene right now. Like, I think he's a little bit smarter than Kanye is, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I've never met Kanye. I met Ronnie. Ronnie's a smart guy, but I never met Kanye. I don't know.
The reason I say that is because there's a line, and Kanye doesn't give a fuck about the line.
But I agree, and I'm saying optics. Yes, I would agree. However, there's a behind the scenes that I will reserve my judgment on, because maybe that's part of the ploy, and he's fucking really smart.
That is true. But he did lose like half of his net worth by doing the stupid things that he did. So I don't know.
That's rumors. That's rumors.
Yeah, that's fake news.
Hey. By the way, I learned in Tim Burton's Wonka. They're printing money. They're printing new money every day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You could always go out and make more.
Yeah.
If you could stir up the shit along your way, that's worth a lot more to me.
Yeah. The issue is like so there's a level of success and a level of musicality or talent you need in order to stir up the shit and get away with the shit too. Because like if Ronnie Radke's music sucked, like then it would just be another like, oh, it's just a guy talking shit.
It's true.
But he makes bangers, so it's like it's all good. So he makes really good music and he can back up everything he says. So therefore, it makes him very important.
Yeah. I mean,
I said the same thing about Bill Cosby. He had such a great show that it was going to last through it all, but I was wrong. So, sorry.
As you are about most things. That's why he said I was smart. He didn't say we were smart.
You like that reference, Bill Cosby? Pretty relevant.
Very relevant. Yeah. Very relevant.
But do you talk about the kids? You talk about culture today. So my daughter's favorite, she's 13. Her favorite artist is Eminem, right? So she's listening to all this shit like Dr. Dre, all these things that we listened to when we were kids. So I feel like the newer generation going back to that kind of music scene and dressing like, we did back then, like we were a lot less sensitive back then. And lyrically, if you listen to a lot of the stuff, it's not like what's out today. And I wonder if that plays a kind of a factor in what this new generation is of the cancel culture and leniency between the two. I don't know.
I think it does. I mean, like, I really do. Like, everything is changing right now where, like, a lot of people are like, oh, finally, we can, like, stop hiding. We can stop being scared of all the bullshit. We can finally start saying kind of what's on our minds. Because a lot of people are in this, like, middle ground where, like, we're not sensitive to everything. We're, like, we want comedy to come back. We want lyrics to be edgy again. I mean, like, Eminem just came out with Houdini, where it's just him talking shit about a bunch of people. And, of course, people are trying to cancel him. And he also had this really funny skit where it was like the old Eminem versus talking to the new Eminem. And the old Eminem is just like, he's like, the only time people ever reference you is when they're talking about me, which is the old Eminem. Like, they don't care about the new Eminem. And then he's like, yeah, but I'm getting canceled every 15 minutes because of the old Eminem. And the old Eminem's like, but who gives a shit? Like, it doesn't matter. It's not really happening. So I think that, like, we are learning as, not just, the scene in the rock scene, but as the United States, really, who controls all this cancel culture bullshit anyways, that it is all just bullshit, that it is all just noise on Twitter, that it is actually a smaller minority of people than we think that don't want you to exist anymore and want to remove you from ever having a career. So and there's so much. I'm so glad you're so right that it is a learning thing. I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, it's social media has become such a huge thing in our culture, especially during the lockdowns and everything for everybody, that it became something that was so real to them. But the reality is it never really was, and it never really will be. And I think we're really understanding that finally again, that it's like, it's fun. It's a form of entertainment, people. Like, when you go on there, like, you're on there to look at ridiculous fucking shit on Reels, everyone has their thing that they're looking at. We're talking about our search feeds and everything like that. Like, yeah, everyone's there for entertainment. And as long as you know that, like, going into it, you have a more sobering experience in there, and you understand that it's not everything. When you put your phone down and you go back out into the real world, no one gives a fuck what you were just looking at on your phone. Yeah. Here's another thing. You play these shows and you meet these fans, they don't fucking care either. No. Like the people that you're trying to appeal to, they're not into that shit. like they don't give a fuck about the whole PC aspect of everything. They only care about the music. Like, here's another thing too, and I'll say this as like kind of a warning for other artists, because there's artists that do this, and it doesn't bode well for them. When you live by the sword of cancel culture, you will die by that sword, and I promise you that. Like, there's a couple of artists that have come after me over the past few years of us, doing our thing, that they try to seem that they are better or something because they point to something that I've done where they don't agree with. Where they're always like, oh, you're a piece of shit because this. You're a piece of shit because you're defending someone who wore an Indian headdress one time. And I'm like, yeah, they were 16 years old, which was literally like 12 years ago. Like, they're still a good person. Like, people change. It's okay. But so, you get these people that try to white knight situations. But, like, you hear things through the grapevine of the industry about how much of a piece of shit this person is. So it's like, you can't be the savior of everybody, but also be a piece of shit.
No. Like,
it's not gonna go well for you at the end. Like, you're gonna end up dying by that sword that you are so committed to.
And that's why I agree with you so much, and that's why I always feel like the lane to stay in is your own. And I know but I mean that in a sense of staying in your lane on what you believe, what your beliefs are. Like, deal with that. Like, let everyone else decide not decide, but have their opinions. I mean, that's part of you know that as an artist, as when you're making a song and you put it out there. This is how I feel. This is what I feel is great. Now it's up to you to decide. It should be the same way kind of with everything, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is I feel like that's also important as like being in a band too. It's like we all also align with these point of views because like, anything I say is a representation of my band. And so, my band stands behind me with any of the comments I'm going to make. We all feel the same way. We all talk the same way. That's the reason we're all friends. So
yeah,
it's
and I think I do like that it's gone back this way and people are understanding that. I understand it's not coming from the same spot, but it's okay. But I wanted to just point out to speak on that too. It really sucks because even when you go to a label, you go to management, you go to other people in your career, and it's not a fault of their own. It's ignorance, but you got to remember that. You and I, Bryan, are in bands, and this is our career. When we miss everything that we do is for our career. We don't get to just we don't get to just start over like they do. Like management, a label, a fan. Any case, they could just be like, I'm done with you. I'm moving on to the next thing. This is our career. This is like what we're trying to do for our life and our livelihood. So all those things become very important. And to that point, we're also human. We make mistakes. You shouldn't be canceled hugely over something that, maybe you were just ignorant to it at the time. Maybe you missaid something at the time, or maybe you didn't even actually feel that at that particular thing, but you were doing it, not thinking about it, just thought it was fucking fun or whatever. And someone takes it out of context and makes you look like a piece of shit. Oh yeah. That was happening more often. That was getting to the point where it was starting to get gross, where they would just take the straight up, headline, whatever it may be, and then cancel culture based on that when you haven't even read, listened to, or anything of the context of why that was said or where it came from.
Or how long ago.
There's a lot of that these days too. Yeah, I mean, like, still now, like, you know who Mr. Beast is?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, so they're on a witch hunt right now for Mr. Beast too.
Are they really? That guy?
Yeah, but like,
what did he do? What are they claiming he did?
So he has a show. He has an Amazon show. And it's going to be like this really big thing where it's a $5 million prize pool. I don't even know if it's cool. I think just one person wins like $5 million, which is absurd. And so I think they're making a video right now of like weeding out the contestants to see who can like do what. And a lot of people are complaining about like not getting enough water, but like they found out that, the real story is that they got water, but the first 12 hours they were scrambled, so they couldn't get everybody water as quickly as they wanted it. So that was the first thing. So like right away, it's like, okay, you already know this is going to be a little bit bullshit. Another thing is that people are complaining that the competition is targeted, like the winners, it's rigged already because it's more physical and it's athleticism. So therefore it's targeted towards, people that are more able to do these physical challenges. So they're more likely to win. So therefore the whole competition itself is ableist. Here's the thing. not everybody and not everything is for everybody. And
Is
that's
this
okay.
entertainment
Like
too?
that's the way this world works.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's not a.
It's a show.
None of that makes sense. Yeah, that
It's a
doesn't.
fucking show, and like that's the thing. It's
I
like
don't
people are like, "Oh, it's scripted. Oh, it's rigged." It's like none of these things are happening. And even if it is, it's fucking entertainment, dude.
Right.
Like,
What do you want? I mean, do I want? I mean, do we want to go turn on the Olympics right now and see just average people competing? In the
yeah,
Olympics?
right.
No, fuck no. I want to see
Big
the fucking
schlongs
people
going
who
over
spent their whole
poles.
lives.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to talk it. Let's get into the fucking let's get into the fucking Olympics because I'm tired of talking about this cancel culture bullshit. Cancer fucking. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, fuck them all.
Fuck them all. Fuck them all.
We didn't talk about Gojira, you and me too. I want to bring that up too. While
Yes,
we're
we got to bring that
Oh,
up.
so
Did you
big.
see that? Did you watch
So
that?
big, dude.
That was so. I was in Hawaii watching the opening ceremony with my family. We love the Olympics. It only comes around every 4 years. Let's go. This is exciting.
Oh yeah.
I love competition. I love sports. I love all sports. So it's been on in my house. I don't know about you, Brian, but it's been on in my house the last few weeks. Last
cable.
couple of weeks that's been on. But you don't need cable. Peacock
don't?
streaming everything. Whip out your Peacock, bro.
I don't
Whip
have
out
a
your
peacock either.
You're not helping me, Brian. Anyways,
and we know it's not
But,
popping up in his
yes.
reels. He's got other things on there.
yeah, he's got.
No. I did.
No, he definitely saw some of the Olympics because I know on his reels he saw what we all saw.
I saw-
the famous pole vaulter and his
true.
fucking massive junk.
Dude, you know they're fucking right. Like,
Oh,
Oh yeah.
dude, if I was in the Olympics,
that guy just went from hey, there's a pole vaulter over there. Yeah, at the party, you might be like, he's kind of cute, and then all of a sudden, like, wait, did you see his dick though?
Yeah.
Like,
Have you
they're
spoken
like,
to pole vaulter yet? Yeah.
he just became a gold medalist at that party.
Oh, he
Sorry,
did.
yeah.
He did.
Jeremiah Watkins was
There's
talking. He
got-
goes, "Would you rather a gold medal or just being known for the biggest dick that got you qualified?" And
I
he's like,
would much
dude,
rather
come
be the
on.
pole vaulter for that they should give him the overall medal for that.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I
MVP.
think.
Well, like, how many countries do you think he's taken a visit to so far?
Oh
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a
They
tour
know.
coming.
They know.
They know.
But aside from the fun parts of the Olympics and what you see on your reels there, Brian. But have you been? You said you haven't been watching the Olympics. You mentioned you made a sports term. I know you're into basketball. We talked about LeBron. Are you up to date with the U.S. Men's team?
Yeah. Well, here's what's going on with the U.S. men's team. And I've watched a lot of the highlights. I haven't watched any of the games yet, but like all you really need is kind of the highlights. The Dream Team from 1992
Right.
is very different than today because in 1992, basketball was not a global thing.
Right.
The NBA has done a very good job at making basketball a very global thing. So
I have a theory about that Dream Team and why all of a sudden we got a bunch of 7-footers from different countries all of a sudden coming out and can ball. Just saying. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in '92 in Spain, but I know that all of a sudden everyone's a little bigger out there.
yeah, they're
I don't know.
fucking injecting them with human growth hormone. Shit. Like,
Well, I was going to go with more of a 90. I don't think they had that then. I was going to go with more like a theory of breeding in the '92, but I don't know.
oh, maybe all the above.
Speaking of Olympians out there, fucking, just saying.
Just saying.
Dream Team was a dream, baby.
Oh, I see where you're going. Oh,
How many
whoa.
years later are we now? Brian?
Magic was a dog. Damn. Oh, and 1992 was in Spain?
Yeah, I believe so.
Everything makes sense now. Everything makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for
Planted the seeds.
for
Got
agreeing
it.
with my theory here.
Yeah, I gotta take my tinfoil hat off for a second. Yeah. But yeah, basketball is so much more global now, so like that's why it's so much harder for these people. And also LeBron, poor LeBron. He's got to do everything for these guys.
Oh, he doesn't have
Poor
to. Look at
LeBron.
this dream.
Like,
This is a dream team, man. This
doesn't
is
wanna fucking
insane what
lose,
they're
but-
doing.
Dude, they don't
He's not going to lose. They're not going to lose, dude. This team is. I know that before they were putting it together. I watch ESPN. I love Brian Windhorst. He's a great NBA analysis. Analysis. Whatever. He does great analysis. That's not the right
what is
word.
it? Wait, what is the word?
Analyst.
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 Analyst. He's a great analyst.
He's great at analyst.
Shout out to Bryan Kuznitz. But he was saying, hey, these other teams, they got size now. They're big underneath. It's not gonna be as easy as we think. And now I'm watching it, and I'm like, and I was believing it. I was drinking Bryan Kuznnitz's juice, and then I saw it, and I was like, they got Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum coming off the fucking bench. There's no chance in hell for these other countries.
Yeah, except we've almost lost multiple times.
Those are playing around, dude. That's not. Do you watch the games? Have you watched these games? These games, I'm watching them. They are fucking around. They are not they haven't even begun to play defense yet. They're gonna wait to play defense towards the end, but they haven't even started to play defense yet.
What was the last game they
just
played?
Doing shit.
Yeah, dude. They're just. Come on. I mean, they're like. If it ever got close, they're like, all right, let's just bring Kevin Durant in off the bench. He'll drop 20 in 20 minutes, and then this game will be over.
It's been close way too many times. What do you mean if it ever got close? It's been close.
All right, Brian. What's the wager? What's the wager here? I'm saying they win gold easily. What's the wager?
Oh, they're winning gold. They're winning gold.
Okay.
But are they
what are we talking about here?
Are they winning gold undefeated, though?
I don't know about it. I think they might. I really think they might.
You think they might? Here's the thing.
I think they might.
What was the last team they played? I don't want to say it wrong. I think
it was on Saturday. It was South Sudan, I believe it was.
Sudan? Yeah, I think it was Sudan. Those motherfuckers would just run up court and just not even set up. They would just run up court and just shoot, make threes instantly. I was like,
that's their only chance.
They were doing it very successfully.
Hey, you said living and dying by the sword. You live and die by the three. You know what the fuck's going to happen. You're going against the U.S. Olympic team. You think you're just going to three-ball them every game out? That's not going to fucking happen.
Yeah, they won by 1 point. So that's... And only because LeBron clutched up.
I mean, again... But they have so many players that can do that when they need it. So is LeBron's turn to do it that night.
But none of them are.
But they don't have to yet. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Given the challenge, they'll rise to it. They're playing to their opponent. You play the defense that they put in front of you, Brian. That's the rule.
So you think it is? You think that it is?
I think it's a foregone conclusion.
You think they're undefeated, though? You think they're undefeated?
I don't know if I'll go as far to say undefeated. I think they might do it with one loss.
Okay, because I was ready to wager for undefeated.
Because to Brian's point,
I'd like to
92.
I want to. Depends
they're
on
not.
what the
They're not
wager is.
losing
What
by
do you got
1
in mind?
point. Oh, great!
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun.
No, I don't know what I got in mind. You torn anymore? Are you done?
We got a few shows this year, and we got some tours. We'll have some tours in 2025.
You got 2025? Are you doing America again, or just everywhere else?
Just kind of there's some stuff that we haven't necessarily done the way that we want to yet in the States. The only Vegas show we did, I know, was our Area 15 first show back in 5 years.
You did Area 15?
Yeah, it was a secret show. We did our first show before the album came out, and it was our first, because we were going to go and do Daytona and do Danny Wimmer's festival out there. Mm-hmm. But that was in front of 50,000 people, and we hadn't played in 5 years, so we thought better and was like, let's do a little show here, kind of a secret thing first, and then we'll go do that. So that's what we did.
Damn.
So we'd like to get back to places like that. Like I personally want to make sure we get to a Vegas show, a proper Vegas show at some point.
Maybe
but as you know, dealing with agents, management, and everything like that, and booking and everything like that. Yeah.
Well, and on top of having families,
there's a lot of things to figure out. So all this stuff is in the works. To answer your question there, 2025. What were you thinking though about the wager? Why is that pertinent to this wager?
I don't know. I feel like there could be a really good bottle of alcohol.
Okay.
On the line.
I don't drink anymore.
You don't drink anymore?
I don't drink anymore.
Wow, congratulations.
I mean, I still get high though. So like I'm on what they call the Cali sober diet. Or whatever, Cali sober.
What's on your knuckles again?
Beer and wine.
Yeah, right. Okay. Just had to double check that one.
I could still order for my friends. You know what I mean? At the restaurant, at the bar, but yeah.
Well, it complicates the wager now. So we'll have to figure something else out.
All right. You and I are going to text, and we'll figure this out. We don't need to. There's people listening right now. A few. There's like 3 still listening. We're about an hour and a half in, so it's gone down to about 3 people from about 4.
No, they're gonna sit here the whole time. I promise you. They're gonna sit here the whole fucking time.
So we'll get back to that. We're gonna wager about that. I'm gonna text you. We're gonna wager on that one.
Beautiful.
But back on the Olympics and back on that the opening ceremonies in Gojira. That was so cool. I mean, like I was saying, I watched it. I didn't expect it. You're watching it with my wife. We watch every opening ceremony together, and they're going through it. And it's always cool. You see the country coming together, all the artists of the country. They get a team together, and they're like, we're gonna show all the art and history of us, and I think they did a great job. And then when I was in the other room and I heard metal being played, and I was like, what the fuck? I walk out and I see this amazing performance happening on the Parliament House or whatever castle that was. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's fucking Gojira. I know those guys. That's fucking Gojira right there. I was like, and then of course, and I was very happy for them. I was like, that's fucking cool. And then of course, like 30 seconds later, I was like, where the fuck haven't I been up there doing anything like that yet?
Yeah,
because America's not as progressive. Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I'm moving to France. Fuck this,
Right?
Dude. So cool. I mean, like, you talk about like important moments in music history, important moments in rock history. Gojira playing the Olympics is like very up there now.
Absolutely, it was so cool, and they did a cool job of. It didn't feel like it was. Oh, now we're just going to go to metal and it's going to feel completely out of place of the rest of the ceremony. No, they still kept it. And with them hanging off the side of it, getting to that shot, showing everything, going to the different windows and stuff, I thought it was really well done. Yeah,
super fucking cool. I'm so stoked for that. I'm so stoked for, this resurgence in guitar music, this resurgence in not just, guitar music, but also like metal, heavy rock. All these sorts of things are very much starting to come back. It's been a topic that we've been talking about for a minute now. And I think a lot of it has to do with, I hate to say this, but Taylor Swift.
Oh,
and because because I've talked to a few people, I've talked to some radio hosts and stuff, and, they've referenced Taylor Swift a couple times because they're like, oh yeah, my daughter, she went to the Eras tour and she saw Paramore opening up for Taylor Swift, and then she also saw Taylor Swift playing guitar, and now she's playing guitar. I'm like, and then he's like, and then now like they're getting more into like the heavier rock music. They found like Papa Roach and things like that. I was just like, that's so crazy. You would really never think that Taylor Swift would be doing this, but she's helping out the rock community by playing guitar, by having Paramore open.
Dude, I thought that was a cool thing. I remember when the news happened and it was all over that Paramore was going to be doing it. I thought it was great for Paramore. Great group of guys. I mean, I don't know them personally, but from being on Warped Tours and stuff like that, I know a little bit about them behind the scenes and sound like a great group of people. So, first want to say awesome for them. But it was to that point though. I think that I think a lot of us kind of thought that would be the case, when something like that is like, okay, cool. And Taylor Swift is so influential in society, not just music,
Right.
And I think it's awesome. I think she's a great artist. I love, there's great songwriting, great performance. I mean, you can't take stadiums. You don't get to that. You don't get to doing an Eras tour without an insane amount of talent, ingenuity, smarts, creativity, everything. She's the full package. And, however, it's bringing kids to guitars. I think that's great too. I mean, just to music in general, though. I mean, I'm not so gatekeepy on how music is made as I once was. I just wanted, just do something different. Do what's in your heart. Don't follow that conveyor belt of music that we were talking about before. I think there is a resurgence of metal and hard rock because it's come from such a down turn for so long because there was such a conveyor belt of music and everyone's just copying each other, which is great. Copying is a great form of flattery at certain points, but then when everybody's doing it, you got the same you have 10 bands on the radio and I can't tell if it's just one band that they're playing 10 songs from. That becomes a problem. And I think the audience recognized that eventually and went away from it.
I
But
think
to your point, there's new acts now that are doing things differently and seeing that. I mean, you mentioned the production on our latest record. We've always gone into that in the mix specifically. We went for that more raw stuff because everything else is so triggered and everything. You got to stand out, and I think being yourself and showing what you've created in your own light, that aspect has made a resurgence. Where it's no longer I'm not chasing the shit. I'm gonna do what's right for me.
I totally agree. And I listened to that podcast that Matt did with Finn McKenty. Because I was interested what he had to say about it. And he was talking about triggers, and he was talking about sample replacing drums, and like how you guys just don't ever do that. Some people need to do that.
Well, we do have Brooks Wackerman. So.
Well, that is true. Not everybody does.
Not everybody's got Brooks.
Yeah, but he made a very direct shot at somebody. I'm not going to say who that somebody is, because I know them. But he made a shot at somebody of all their records sounding the same, and how that is just not going to be an Avenged Sevenfold thing ever. I was like, totally respect that. And he's very right, though, because there is bands these days that do all kind of sound the same, but there's a lot more outliers these days of bands that don't sound the same. There's a lot of bands that have, or if they do sound similar, they have taken it to a completely different level, a completely different caliber. Right. And we need so much of that. Like Ronnie Radke is one of them. We also have Motionless in White. They're also one of them, whether how much they love each other or not. Bad Omens, another band who is introducing new people into this music, which is super, super important. And yes, I agree with you that creating music is amazing and everybody should do it. But at the same time, I'm super selfish and I really do care about my scene and what is going on in my scene. And because at the end of the day, it helps me.
Yeah. Rising tide floats all boats, as they say. And I agree. I 100% agree. When I've said stuff like that before, or Matt has said stuff like that before, it's not to put anyone down. And that's why I think I never took it that way. Not to that. Yeah, we're not putting anyone down. In fact, in anything, we're trying to rise the tide, trying to challenge the artists that are out there. Like, let's do that. We need it. We need that too, more than anybody. Like we're in the scene. We're cultivating it. We're doing our thing, and we love to see more individuality in it. Yeah, is really what I mean. And that's what rock was always steeped in. Going all the way back to to its origins, it's about uniqueness and individuality.
I also think that being one of the bands though that pioneered kind of individuality for the next generation of bands, you guys are allowed to talk about this. It is very much something you're allowed to say. I don't remember what else I was going to say, but I do think it is important to have that individuality. It is very important. Not everybody can always get away with it because budgets are very much a thing, and like how much are we able to do with this? I also think it's okay to be critical of things and critical of people and the actions they make. Just because you're critical of it doesn't mean you don't like them. It's just you can be critical on their take. I didn't necessarily agree with the take that we should just stick one microphone on a drum kit and record that because that's going to sound like shit. But like I get the mentality of it all.
Yeah. No, it's all in fun, and it's all in like it's not all in fun. This is, like I said, this is our careers. This is what we are passionate about.
But it's all love.
If nothing else, it's all love. It's all love.
Yes.
I think that's also great. A great thing that we could take away from social media and from that cancel culture too, and hopefully the pendulum switch back, is that artists get thicker skin as well. It's okay to hear those critiques. I mean, I hear them daily, weekly, everything. I mean, part of being an individual is you're gonna take some arrows on the back. When you're an individual, there's gonna be people who like it and people who don't like it, and that's just the way. That's part of it. And you gotta take that criticism.
I used to get so upset when people wouldn't hate on us online. I used to hate it.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of, I'm wearing the U's. Bert told me a really fun fucking story. He actually has now asked the crowd to boo them on stages because it felt so much better. And I was like, dude, that's great to be like a wrestling heel. Go out there and just like talk shit on the city. Like that's my dream. Is like if I was ever a front man and the microphone was in my hand, I would be the biggest heel. I would come out, talk shit on the city about like why the fuck are this podunk fans and everything like that, and just go nuts like a straight up heel in wrestling and have them boo,
God.
but they still love the music. It would be so much fun. It would just be a fun. It'd be a different concert experience. Is all I'm saying.
Hold on, time out. What is stopping you?
Well, I'm not the
Singing.
I'm not the front
No. You got a microphone. I've heard you sing. I've heard you sing "Seize the Day."
Live in the LBC.
Was it just there?
I mean, I did it for like it was a period of time on the touring cycle where like
because I do remember you singing this at like a what was it, Taste of Chaos?
And I never fixed it. The best part is I didn't have ears for all of it. I never fixed it. It was always a joke. I never really learned what Matt said at the very beginning.
No, dude, I remember when
once he did it the first time and it was so bad because I was like on the spot and I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now. From then on, it just became a reoccurring joke of like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going to go learn and try and like actually learn how to sing this properly. I'm just going to let it be a joke every time.
Yeah. I do kind of remember like hearing you do this and it just, you didn't make sense.
No.
Like you didn't sing it.
No.
What I'm saying
because I didn't know the actual lyrics. It's fucking hilarious.
Dude, I just saw Gunslinger, and you didn't know it all. When Brian's like, "Here, sing it."
That was Dear God. That was Dear God.
That was Dear God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I just hit a cover of Dear God. I don't know if I'm ever gonna release it, but I did do one.
Oh, you got to send that to me.
I will send it to you. Dude, that's a hard fucking song to sing.
Yeah.
Like fuck. But I was gonna say to you have a microphone. So I was gonna say our wager could be something along the lines of you have to say something on stage.
Okay.
So we can figure out what that is.
I'm down.
But
I'll figure out something for you to say too.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody in the band would have a problem with you having to say something on stage. Now, for me,
I could even do it during the song. During the stage, I always say something different. Like I said, like there's a talking part from the album, and that's like, oh, we should still have that live. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then I always say something stupid, like that has nothing to do with what we're doing at all every time.
I want you to the stage and you're just berating someone, like just total heel. That would be. I love that.
I've done that. I've done that. I did that on it was actually fun. We were playing, like on the last leg, we were playing Shepherd of Fire again for the first time in a long time. And Zach's like, man, I'm not going to do that talking part anymore. Like, you just do it, like, during that, like, bridge part of the song where it's all, like, serious and talking about some shit. And I just, like, I started off serious, and I looked over at Brian, and he was hungover that day. And I was like, and this motherfucker over here is sloppy as shit because he's hungover. He can't do a goddamn thing. And I just started berating him instead of doing the actual lyrics on it. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, my God, that's so good. Where was this at?
Dude, I don't remember. It might have been Mohegan Sun. Maybe it was one of those shows. I don't remember which show. It was on the last leg of the tour, though, like last U.S. part of the tour.
Gotcha. Okay, I wanted to make sure it was in the U.S. too.
It was in the U.S. Oh, I made sure. If I'm gonna berate, they better understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Latin fan base for you guys is insane.
Yeah.
Like,
we got Rock in Rio around the corner. Pretty excited about that.
Dude, I would love to do that. Remember that I was telling you when I saw you in Tacoma, there was this video of me and my girlfriend dancing in the pit at Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
Okay. I was extremely blasted. I was like full blasted. Like, we're just ballroom dancing. So, Sam, I don't know if you know about this, but there's a video online. It's a very viral video of me and my girlfriend dancing in the pit at Sonic Temple during a little piece of heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it went mega viral, and it's so viral that like it's even more viral on the Spanish side of Avenged Sevenfold. Which is
big song in the Latin community.
Yeah, well, I saw the video recently, like reposted by a Latin page, and I'm just like, this is me. I'm like, this is so funny. Or actually, a couple of people tagged me in it, but I was like, that's so crazy that this still exists. It's got millions of views and everything like that. But like, I was just wanting to make sure that you were saying these sorts of things in front of the audience that can understand what's going on.
I very much. When we just got off Europe, a lot of those times in the stage, I'll try and pick a phrase in that language that I'm at, and I'll just say that phrase as well.
Oh wow!
Are they always dirty?
Multilingual, huh?
It's always something dirty. It's never. I'm not like saying anything nice.
Dude, that's one thing. When we were in Japan, they're like, "Hey, they're not going to understand you on stage, so you better learn some Japanese." Yeah. I was like, okay. I got you. And I had a
I
little.
would like to actually learn Japanese, like fucking do a Rosetta Stone. I would love to. Japanese and French are two.
I got
languages
a family
my
plan on
list.
Duolingo. You want in?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm so serious.
Send me that login. Send me that login. Dad.
I have so many like extra things because I was like, I'm gonna get the family plan. Maybe some people want to join. Everyone's like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm like, okay.
You're a good friend to have, man.
Yeah, I paid for a year family plan.
Yeah. You'll pay for the family plan on that, but you won't whip out Peacock for a couple months while Olympics are on.
Well, I'm gonna join your family plan for the Olympics. Yeah.
All right, I'll share you that. Yeah, I'll share your other couple of my logins too. You could use them if you want. I don't know if you have.
Well, there's
an
the
Oculus,
bet.
but you can
There's
use
the
them
bet.
you
If they
want.
don't
An
get
Oculus,
gold,
I do have an
undefeated. Oh, you don't want to share
Yeah,
that.
they need to be undefeated.
Okay.
They need to be undefeated. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm gonna figure out the saying, what we're gonna say.
Yeah.
I do have an Oculus. I don't use it that much though.
Oh well, I'll show you how to use it.
I know how to use it.
Doesn't
know how
sound
to
like you
use-
do because you'd be using it a lot more than not that often.
Oh, you're gonna show me how to use it. You're gonna have the what the
There's logins to these games that you can only play at certain websites, and
Yeah,
they're
sure.
awesome games. They're awesome games.
Speaking of those games, I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to expose them, but a close friend of mine had the Valve Index, like the full, like the really nice one. He had a Valve Index, and he also got a thing that assisted you while playing these certain games.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So Blake likes
mounted
it a
to
lot?
something. I'm
That's
not sure. He said it was great. He said it was fantastic. I didn't want to ask him to try because I felt that would be a little weird. But yeah, those exist.
Yeah, I've heard rumor of these.
Why are you so
these
quiet
things.
over there, dude?
No, I'm just thinking this conversation has really gotten off the rails. That's all I'm.
Where did we go wrong?
Where did we go right? Where did we go right?
I could bring. You know, I did want to ask you. When we met up in Tacoma, you had a couple other friends there,
Yep.
and one of your friends would not tell me who they were, and I think he's a wrestler.
Oh, was that Darby? Darby was there.
Maybe, yeah. He's got like,
It's Darby Allen.
sharp nails.
Yeah, that was Darby Allen.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Is he a wrestler?
Yeah, he's a wrestler for AEW. He's a really good friend of mine. He befriended him from coming on this podcast, one of our early guests, and ever since he just like comes to the house. He's a really good homie, and he is originally from the Seattle area, so he came out to Tacoma to see the show. I was actually sick that day. That's why I was in that separate room and everything.
Oh,
I was quarantining myself,
You were
but
quarantining.
he didn't care. I let everybody know.
you
I
did.
was sick.
You told me too. I also didn't care, and I also didn't get sick.
No one cared. I just said it to everyone just to be nice. Like I was like, hey, just in case, but it was fine. But yeah, that was
I love
Darby
that-
and his brothers.
I love
were
that
there,
Darby
Sam.
didn't say it. I love that Darby just didn't tell you. That's so them.
That's so
like
good. That's so Darby.
he made up something, and I went, "That's not it." Like, he told
I
me
wish I knew what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but like it was. He made up something. I was like, "You're not that."
He's always doing funny shit like that,
Yeah,
man.
he was super cool. We were having like a really cool conversation and shit. Like he was a cool guy.
Yeah, he's great. They're going to England. Shout out to the AEW for their second time. They're about to be doing Wembley Stadium for
Wow.
All In. So that'll be really exciting. That's coming up here at
That's-
the end of the month.
That's fucking cool, dude. That's really cool. Good for him.
Yeah, it's
and then
really cool shit.
And then I remember Blake was very stoked that he took a shit in your bathroom.
Oh, he did. He was the one.
Yeah,
He was the one that did that.
Yeah, he was the
Okay.
one, and he'll talk about that.
I'm a little upset he didn't come back on the show to talk about that.
Well,
you know?
okay. You know what? I think he's busy today, but he was talking about it. He's just like,
Oh, too busy for drinks with Johnny, huh?
Too busy for drinks with
That's
Johnny.
How it is. That's
yeah,
how it is.
but he did say it'd be a little weird if I went on the show because I don't drink anymore.
I don't drink anymore either.
There you go.
It's never been a thing for the show,
I'll
just
t-
for
I'll
the
t-
record.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam likes to put that in as the guy that is the producer and trying to get guests. He always has to put an email. Just because the title doesn't mean you have to drink alcohol.
Yeah. See, the first time I did this though, I was pretty nervous. And so I was just like, I'm gonna get drunk. And so I got very drunk the first time.
I think we all got drunk together. That was.
Do you
good.
still drink that horrible drink you made?
I made a drink.
Yeah, you guys had like
you talked about bringing vodka and what was the mix?
It was like cotton candy water and vodka and
yeah, it's like a cotton candy like soda, like zero sugar. I used to drink, dude, during COVID. That's all I would do. I like literally wake up at like 2 p.m. and just fucking drink vodka.
I think that's what a lot of people did, and that's why you're seeing all the non-alcoholic stuff come out now. Everyone's like all of a sudden, I never used to see so many non-alcoholic things in the store, and like now there's like so many of it. I'm like, oh yeah, everybody went through that time.
Yeah. Now I'm just drinking a bunch of liquid deaths.
There you go.
Got you with her.
So our manager is a partner in Liquid Death, and we're like, hey, can we get some cans? Like, can we get some cans? He's like, can't really just send you some cans, but I can send you a pallet. Oh. And we're like, okay. And he's like, it's only gonna be of one flavor. And we're like, that'll be fine, whatever. He literally sent us 1,500 cans on a pallet of mango chainsaw.
Wow. Well, I know where to go if I'm running low on Liquid Death then.
Yeah, if you, dude, honestly, just hit me up and like I'll make it happen. he would absolutely love that. He'd be like, oh yeah, Johnny Christ of Avenged Sevenfold? Yeah, we can send him fucking a pallet of Liquid Deaths.
I don't know what I'd do with a fucking pallet, but
yeah. So Blake was very stoked to have taken a shit in your green room that day, and he was so honored.
Oh.
It's like one of his favorite moments. He's like, yeah, I took a shit in Avenged Sevenfold's green room. It was sick. I was like, yeah, that was actually their family room.
It was the family room. It was in our dressing rooms.
So
I hope they had it nice in there for him. That's all I know.
Yeah, I heard it was very nice. And then Matt came around the corner. He's like, oh, I see you got friends, Johnny.
Yes.
It's like I snuck.
They never believe me that I have friends. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I see you hanging out with your friends.
That was also because I was sick. He was like, oh. I was like, yeah. They didn't care.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting us that day. That was actually very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm glad we got to see each other there. That was the first time meeting in person. Hopefully we have many more times of that, man. You guys have a new album coming out. We'll put a bow on this real quick. Talk about the new album coming out first week of September. And then what else you guys got going on?
So new album coming out first week of September. And then later in September, we are going on tour with Wage War. So
very cool.
We're going to be dogging it for about 6 weeks and then come home. And then maybe next year we do some sort of headliner. I don't know. I really don't know what's planned for next year yet, but I'm really just excited for this album to come out, for the people to hear the album, to, kind of experience it front to back and just play some fucking music, play some shows.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, I'll be looking out. We'll be looking out. Everybody at home, look out for shows coming up for Fame on Fire. They just said it's going to be out with Wage War. And then hopefully some more stuff to come after that in 2025. Go get the new record first week of September. And then, singles out right now. When's the next single dropping before then?
I literally think like this week.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't know.
There'll be a new single out this week if you're listening to this podcast right now.
I've been doing so much press, and then I've also been doing like radio liners and all that sort of shit. So we got
to come up with good radio liners. Actually, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but it just sparked an idea. We should have our guest say the stupidest shit, like at the end.
Yes.
I hate doing those liners. They always have the liner like "keep rocking here" and all that kind of shit. I'm like, oh man. Can I say something else? Can I say something else?
Dude, I feel like I sound like such a fucking weenie sometimes. Like I'll just like bring the mic over and I'm like, this is Bryan from Fame on Fire.
Dude, and you feel so weird. And I understand where they're coming from, and it does work, and it's been working for a long time at radio. I'm not poo-pooing it. Love you guys at radio, but
we love radio.
As an artist, when you're doing that shit, it makes you feel fucking cheesy as fuck.
So wait, so you're doing radio liners, right?
Yeah.
Does it get passed on to you? Is it like, or they're like, we want you to do this radio liner, or do you do?
Oh, you mean like when it's a full, when it's like a full band thing? I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Well, yeah. So if it's like, cause like, I feel like I do all my liners. Like I do all the liners. Like nobody else in our band has ever done liners besides me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. There's usually it'll be Sin if we're in as a full band. Sin will take the liners and stuff because Matt needs to rest his voice, and Sin just goes up and does it. But you do multiple. I would do a lot of interviews by myself, so there's only one person to do the
That makes sense. That very much makes sense. That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, for us, like it's like if it's not me, nobody else is doing it. I swear to God.
Sometimes it's just the reading that gets in my way. They're like, "Here's the paper, and you got to read it." I'm like, "Can you just tell me what it says? I can't read that well."
Dude, I have this app now on my phone. It's like what is it? It's a teleprompter app.
So, you have a teleprompter app? Sorry.
I have a teleprompter app on my phone. So
what? I didn't know that they had an app for
like
that.
You scan it and then it'll read your voice as you go?
No. So you like import like what the document, because like it'll be like, this is your line. Hey, this is blank from Fame on Fire. You're listening to blank off our new album called The Blank. And so you fill in the gaps, but it's like sometimes I can't really remember the station. I can't remember what the line is I'm really supposed to say. So I just import the text into this like app, and it brings up my camera at the same time with the text over it, and so I can just look at the phone. And I'm yeah, because nowadays they want everything video format.
I've noticed that. That's different.
Yeah.
I've always done the audio side, but
yeah,
I've gotten a few these days where they're like, "Can you do it on your phone?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, they also want it for like Instagram, or not Instagram. I guess Instagram and Spotify, because like now you can put a video in on Spotify before the song even plays.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I look like such a dumbass.
You look great with that hat on right now, Brian. So.
I agree. This is just been my look lately, because this hat was my girlfriend's. We got it at the show in Tacoma, and I was like, I'm not really a trucker hat kind of guy, but then for some reason my hair got really fucking long, and a trucker hat works great for me. So I was like,
there you go.
I was like, this is the hat. This is the play.
For everybody. It's for everybody. That hat's for everybody.
This hat is for everybody.
Well, man, thank you so much, Brian, again, for being on the show. A lot of great things to look forward to for Fame on Fire. Everyone go check out more of Brian and Fame on Fire. Go check out Sam, too. Why not? We'll throw him a bone here on this episode.
Look at him.
He's there.
He's got a good hat, too.
He's got a great hat on today. He's got a great shirt. I'll throw him a bone because he looks good today. You can find him at Sam the Hawk Toys. That's what he does.
I want a shirt. I didn't know you had a shirt.
Oh, look at that, Brian. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna get your address. I
got my Dolly Parton shirt on right now.
That's a sick shirt, by the way.
Have you ever been to Dolly World?
I haven't.
Dude,
I haven't.
You gotta go. It's
I know. Every time I'm by there, I'm like I've been close enough. I should have done it, and I just never did. But
it is the coolest place on earth, and they have the best roller coasters ever. I don't know if you're into that, but take a Dramamine.
I'm not a huge roller coaster guy, but
doesn't matter. Take a fucking Dramamine and get on the roller coaster. What? Yes. We did it on an off day. Like, when the fuck else are you going to Dollywood if you're not on an off day?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, again, I will say goodbye one more time. Thanks to everyone, I should say, for tuning in, watching, listening, whatever it is, however you're consuming this right now. Thanks to Brian for being on the show, Sam for co-hosting. As always, go check all this stuff out, and until next time, cheers.